All right. I don't know the name of the team yet, but I'm gonna find out the name of the team. I'll figure out the team that's gonna name for the building. All right. Let's start with priorities. We'll break it down, and I'll clarify at the end. Water, food, shelter. That's important. Those are the main priorities in that order. Aqueducts. For each one of these, this is going to be for each one of these. So, for aqueducts, this entire building, the team that's a part of aqueducts would be, and these each have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They should have 12, but this has 9 parts in it. So, aqueduct team has a team for funding. Has a holographic team. I'm going to break that down more. Funding, what does that mean? Funding means, those who are able to... How are we going to fund this? Let's get the funding for it. Let's get the crowdsourcing. Let's get the funding team, financial team, accounting team, whatever you want to call it. Fund this, make it happen financially. Holographic team... as in using holographic lens, holographic projections to place in this type of, or to look through to see this formation and to put those formations in either, put those formations in either, build the molds out of the holographic, and this is, of course, going to be continued on, put the holographic molds off of the projection of it, or the software and into the actual file, which can be downloaded in a sense into an actual 3D printer, for example, but actually at a replicator speed, which means precursor engineering, which is producing something at the atomic level out of nothing, and that team to see, to know, to build, and to construct the diagram, and then off the actual design. Alloy metal team. So basically, using a combination of creating the material. For example, alloys, metals, elements, tools, rocks, any materials. You are designing of the materials. Now, this can be designed obviously with a combination of these metals. Through advanced formations of making it. I guess I'll go into more detail about it. You go do the research on yourself of how this is made, but I know there's a space type of, it's a type of program or a type of project that it's how it's been done before, and I've read about this, where you combine different types of metals, for example, different types of elements in space, and you can form it to whatever shape you want. I know this has been done before in space, in a certain environment, and that's the same type of environment that I'm thinking that can be done for making these metalloids and alloys in this alloy team. And they would be making, and of course you can create it any type of size, any shape, any structure, any type of filament, from anything from clothing to structures to buildings to motherboards to anything can be made out of anything. Anyhow, any shape, for any strength, any flexibility or any feeling, any dexterity. So those are the 3 teams I just explained there. Funding teams, holographic teams, those are 3 out of the 9. The next team is building. So builders, designers, tech, and these are the team for building the technology. So this is the team for building the technology that creates. So the creating building team. This is basically you're building the device that creates replicators, all right? So you're the replicator producers. You're the architects for the creation of architectural design. So this is basically precursor engineering. You are using that, basically whatever you're using free energy technology or the understanding of that, or zero-point energy and understanding of that, to develop the tools to make it, basically. So you are making the for example, not necessarily the generators, the zero-point energy generators, but the zero-point energy, for example, I want cranes, I want monkey wrenches, zero-point energy hammers. These are just analogies, but see, these are actual things because, once again, hammer goes into the nail goes into and it hammers down the spike goes down on the tie. And that moves on and on and on and on to build the structure. And this is, once again, building For example, Legoing. Legoing each type of structure that's made by the alloy metal team and putting it together in a Lego. All right, so the next team is the transportation. So transportation team focusing on how better transportation, and obviously what we're going for is faster than the speed of light. That's what I want, faster than the speed of light. That is how transportation should be made. So obviously anti-gravity, 0 point, all the stuff that's known about that. Put that together, build, for example, a design, an engine, a machine, a carburetor, a turbine, but it's obviously, you can use former understandings of that technology, but build a new form of transportation to build that technology for higher, accelerated, better, safer, and more efficient transportation. Shipbuilding. So this shipbuilding design I'm going to describe is, in great detail, is the biosphere, and I'm going to break it down as quickly as possible. This biosphere, which I'm going to explain right now, is this one is 4 kilometers in diameter. The shipbuilding team will basically be shipbuilding this from, of course, with the help of the previous 3 teams. Or excuse me, the previous 4 teams, in order to accelerate this entire process. And so once again, these teams help each other. This is a shipbuilding team. This is like basically entire team for a shipbuilding. Anyway, this is this basic biosphere. It will have very, very basic gardens, food central. Difference between the two is gardens are actually housing the gardens, which will be which I'm going to go into, but where they're going to be basically hydroponic, and I'm going to explain that, but advanced hydroponic, I'm going to explain that. Food Central, of course, that's, of course, the eating quarters, crude quarters. There will be quarters to stay in, and there will be education rooms, and there will also be education/research/ library/ learning rooms. And in this very basic one, there will be once again, the living quarters. So, very, very, very basic shipbuilding, all right? That's a shipbuilding team. 4 kilometers in diameter, wrapped around, made from the previous 3 teams, the efforts made of all the 3 teams. The constant updates. I want constant updates, not necessarily on the type of technologies. I want updates on the ideas and the technologies that have been done from the past, previous works of the teams, all the work and all the new ideas that can stem from the working of what the teams have done. I want constant updates on the technology that has been already created previously, and I'm talking about the type of technology, the types of advances, and the type of solutions that have existed that I've, for example, researched, like any type of updates, constant updates on transportation for that's like that's interstellar. What's the word? Space able to go into space. That form of transportation. I want any type of over unity, and anything that gives more output than requires input for energy generation. I want any types of advanced in technologies, super advanced. Any type of positive, self-sufficient, completely self-sufficient update technology. I want constant updates. A team that is working on the constant updates of advanced solutions in general, and advanced solutions in technology. And I want a decriminalization team. So this basically is a team that is for total decriminalization for that which, in a sense, promotes prosperity. So this team is obviously just going to consist of, obviously, you can... anything that will, of course, make the job easier. Interesting. But ultimately, yes, make the job easier for not only this team, but for in general. So that means, whatever, I'm just going to say it. That means decriminalization of, fully, of cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. Decriminalization of the products that would be that are plant-based, that should be produced on like a crops scale, or and also decriminalization team. That's key. So, and also a team of cycle teams. So, what do I mean by cycling? Like a team, this is cycling through all these things in order to be more productive in this team. So, a team of that's ultimately, in a sense, not only raising but in charge of, and these are all the teams, all the people that are, and this would be for the entire team. So that we can be totally self-sufficient. This is for efficiency of self-sufficiency. This team would be cycling hunting, fishing, trapping, gardening, planting, and gathering. So this team would not only be charged with their own gardening and planting and gathering, and their own production and housing of the creation and the stocking of the fishing and the trapping and the hunting, but doing the hunting and the fishing and the trapping and the gardening and the planting and the gathering for the sustenance that would be for the team in general. You got, and that's, for example, for aqueducts. So all those, so you got holographic team, the funding team, alloy metal team, building design net, quote unquote crane tech team, the building design tech team, a transportation team of anti-gravity / 0 point, a shipbuilding team, the 4-kilometer in diameter ship that is just the first ship. Then there's going to be a 10-kilometer, 50-kilometer, 200-mile, 400-mile shipbuilding team. Of course, the next team is the constant, of course, legal updates, and I'm going to break that down a little bit later about what's legal and illegal, and that's part of the decriminalization team. Anyway, constant updates of advanced solutions and technology. Constant updates. Next team is the decriminalization team. The final team is the cycle team for hunting, fishing, trapping, gardening, planting, and gathering. This team is for aqueducts. That's for the creation of aqueducts, to use all of these guys to build them, to be completely self-sufficient. The team is also involved in that's one part. The other one is organic abundance, which is food abundance, which is plant abundance, which is sustenance abundance. And once again, that 9-part team, this 9-part team, is the team that's going to be a part of organic abundance, which is food and self-sufficiency in food. Shelter also is the third key part that will have teams. These teams are going to be building those, sustaining those, creating those, and maintaining those. So, for each of these teams, for aqueducts, you got the 9. For organic abundance, you got the 9. And for shelter, you have the 9. So, these are the 9, ultimately in a total, 36 teams for that have these 3 different areas. So this is, in a sense, this ultimately, healing team. Healing, health is the fourth and yet most important one, because you must have this one before you even have the teams in general, because this ultimately provides health. So for the health team, you have the funding team, holographic team, alloy building, transportation, shipbuilding, constant updates, decriminalization, and cycle team. So this is, of course, for the most advanced, most advanced healing, which by far I would say is the holographic rejuvenating med beds, able to increase. It allows you to regrow any type of limbs in about 4 hours. I want to cut this time in half and then cut it down even more, making it faster, more safer, and more efficient. So once again, this is upping the ante and trying to be the best. Not trying to be the best. We don't try. We only do. This is the best. You have to have the best health. So this, once again, is all. These 4 teams are involved in this health. So these are the teams that are there. Right. One more team is a research team. Combination for doing the basic research for all these 4 things. in one area. In a sense, it's the experts of the four that I just described. In a sense, the experts of, you have the experts of the three, or of the four major teams I just mentioned. Of the four, which is 36, 40, 42. No, 45. No. Excuse me. Thirty-six. These 36 teams, the four of the, so total of, you got 9 for aqueducts, 9 for shelter, 9 for organic abundance, 9 for health. Those 36 major teams are also the experts from those, and also having experts of those, and by those, and for those. Experts will be in ultimately the research realm, which will be involved in, of course, have their own funding team, holographic team, metal team, building designers, designettes team, tech team, transportation, anti-gravity zero point team, shipbuilding, 4-kilometer in diameter for start team, constant updates of advanced solutions team, decolonization team, and cycle team for hunting, fishing, trapping, gardening, planting, and gathering. And this is to provide the best of the best and make sure that there's progress is always being made. This self-sufficiency needs this because there's so many teams and so many individuals and done in this. The deadline for this is in 2 months, exactly 2 months from today. So that would be June 3rd. Wow, June 3rd, 2017. This needs to be done, completed, and done. All right. I expect all of these to be done all the time. I expect constant updates. I expect no setbacks. And I expect actually one of the major things which is really important, I want 70, which is easily done. I want 70. It's actually very easy to do, so I'm actually going to raise it to 100. I want $100,000 raised in the funding for holographic rejuvenation medbeds of the best of the best of the best. What does this consist of? I also want the research team to do the research themselves to figure out which is obviously the better solution to what I'm about to say, because as soon as I say it, there's going to be something better, and that's exactly how better this needs to be, because this needs to go at the rate of imagination, all right? Because there's always something better, there's always improvement. This is, once again, the best of the best. So, $100,000, which is obviously just a starting point, which is very easy to do, because, we have teams working together on this. $100,000 funding for the holographic rejuvenation medbeds. What's required to make these holographic rejuvenation medbeds is the holographic lens, the holographic projector. Now, this holographic projector needs to project the DNA structure in which it is projecting the healing that needs to be done in that area. So, it needs to have the software that needs to project the DNA needs to be precise to the cellular level. So I need software DNA, of course. In a sense, the DNA, the human DNA biome or geome structure to the T needs to be in the software program and projectable from this HoloLens projector. And then, of course, you need in a sense, the vessel to hold it. The projector, software to project, and the area, in a sense, the capsule, in a sense, that the environment that will be the placement of the human body, and it should be the size of a human body. You can do. I want a human body. I don't. I. It would be great to start off with just one limb at a time, or the torso, or the leg. I want the entire human body. I want that $100,000. And of course, the 3 teams can do that, and that's something the research team can do. And that's also something that the health team can do. Research team is to, of course, be the experts of all this, and is supposed to check back in with the health, the organic abundance, the aqueducts, and the shelter team. All right. So now, what exactly are we building? Because that might need clarification. So the best forms from what my research has done, which I might need clarification for, or I might need to interject throughout the time, but obviously the more creative, the more imagination, the better. But the best of the best of the best, one of the great things that I've already designed or already thought of is aqueduct systems, of course, being self-sufficient for each area. And this is of course this is for the entire world. This is self-sufficiency for the entire world, ultimately. Aqueducts, this is providing fresh water, clean water, and filtered water, but through a highly advanced, very efficient, and incredibly quick filtering process. An incredibly quick water purifying process. That's incredibly quick, all right? So, aqueducts, these can be used to trail, funnel, gravity-fed. You have, in a sense, a basin it's given a size. 3 miles. 3 miles. 3 mile basin. 3 mile basin that can hold 3 miles of water. And then aqueducts that travel throughout areas to disseminate the water. And that water is always, of course, the top-notch water. And that would be ultimately an infinite power source of water. Or infinite source of water. Also, the ability to create cloud technology that can be easily designed, easily built, because it's definitely possible, or it's obviously been done before. You can create clouds without negative effects upon the Earth, which is very, very doable, and has been done before. You can do it with desalination of water. You can also do it with just evaporating water. And recycling water as well. Any water, any type of liquid can be recycled into water. That's what the aqueduct team can also solve, and the research team can help with the aqueduct team to research the top-notch best ways. The research team will also have added to them 3 more teams. These teams will be the innovation team, designed on constantly coming up with new ways, new innovations, new inventions, and actually creating new designs and new architectural designs for the 4 teams of health, organic, abundance, shelter, and the aqueducts. There'll also be of course doing research. Not only researching, but having a bank, in a sense, a library, a source network, a type of area that can everything can be found and documented, in a sense, not necessarily documented, but has a type of retrievable way to receive the top-notch innovation that's out there. Researching, both keeping and researching. Now, so this will have a leadership team. Very important to have. Just this needs to move forward. So that's the key part of having leadership, because this is in a sense the experts that, of course, moving forward. All right. Of course, this Oh, now we'll go into organic abundance. And once again, a great model for this is Agartha. So a part of this research team will also be the team that's going to be key for not just any type of not just any diplomacy, but peaceful diplomacy. Because this is diplomacy for intergalactic civilizations, for the Galactic Federation of Planets, for Shambhala, for Agartha, for Telos. These are top notch, and you have to go there peacefully, and you have to go there immediately. All right, so these teams need to be on it, and that needs to be constant. And I want constant updates from the diplomacy team on peace, and that needs to be, of course, that's what it's all about: unity, peace, and the opposite of war. Anything that's the opposite of war. The war will not be the answer, because these four, in a sense, aqueduct, shelter, and abundance, organic abundance, and health are provided for. Therefore, providing self-sufficiency and no reason to not have scarcity. Alright. Goal is peace and paradise. Or it will be obviously the constant products will be peace, paradise. Peace and then peace brings paradise. So diplomacy with those nations and confederations, and that is to come up with help, come up with advice, and come with the actual history and with actual spiritual enlightened intelligence of the type of evolution that, for example, they have already gone through. All right, they've already been through creating peace on multiple planets or multiple star systems, all right? Star nations, for example. They're experienced, they're wise, and they're hundreds and even thousands of years old. We need to accelerate the diplomacy for that. That needs to be accelerated as soon as possible. So, wisdom with spiritual enlightenment experience is important. So that's why we have the diplomacy, leadership, the research, and innovations teams, a part of also the original 9 that will be a part of the research team, which are, in a sense, the research experts, the experts team. So now, that is the aqueduct. Once again, that should be done in 2 months. 2-month deadline. 3 months at the most. So July 3rd, if not by June. Organic abundance. Once again, the great model for a type of galactic society, or the great model for absolute peace, or for example, a great model for sustainability is Agartha, is Shambhala. Now, and the way that of course, this is the goal of the type of organic abundance. So you have huge quantities, of food that are done through advanced watering and hydroponic systems. So these hydroponic systems are providing fruit that are 4 times the size of any type of fruit that we have now, and grander, and also fruit that has life force, and fruits that has every form of nutrition that you can eat it. Totally supplied in that type of food. Also, there will be not only research, but productivity into the actual development of soy products that are absolutely, truly next level, efficiently well done. So, as in a sense, and this took the Telosians, it took them a long time. But once again, that's for the diplomatic research team to find out and to really get back on me on. Or just get back to the team about. But I, of course, do want updates all the time. Like, lots of full-on great updates, just lots of information. These products, these soy products are so top-notch. I mean, I want... This is to have the taste of a pig and a cow and a bison all in one little meat source. And it needs to be as succulent and as delicious as just as possible. And it is all soy. And that's that's the actual ability of creating soy products. Form it into any type of shape you want, any type of succulentness or sweetness or deliciousness as possible. And it is real and tastes like the real thing. I mean, I don't care if it's duck or frog leg or chicken or ham. Any type of food, it needs to taste like that. That's soy. And it can be done in abundance, all right? There's a lot of food that can be just done with soy, and that can be done without hunting. However, that cycle team still needs to be on point to provide sustenance until the Organic Abundance project is complete, which should be complete in 2 months, June 3rd, 2017. We got to go into more detail, apples the size of a human head, grapes, grape clusters that are 4 to 5 feet long, and grapes that are the size of oranges, and of course oranges are even larger, and watermelons are massive. That is the end goal, end product, without losing any of the sustenance, and in fact gaining more life force. And of course, asking for help during the process to accelerate it, expedite it. But no matter what, this will be completed by June 3rd. And that will be a very, very great thing. To be honest, this Organic Abundance, the trees and the plants, for example, that live in Agartha, live to be hundreds, if not thousands years old, sometimes hundreds of thousands years old. So those trees and those plants have just been producing without ever being cut down again. So once again, it is possible to make hydroponic gardens that have 4 times the size of fruit. However, remember the main goal, and that will be the main goal, is to have them at incredible super size, which is actually natural size. And Organic Abundance also has to do with plant growth, massive plant growth in general. And the research team will help develop the best and the most greatest, and of course the truth of creating plants that grow to be miles and miles and miles high, trees that reach in the sky for miles. Shelter, the most advanced type of shelter systems and shelter designs and designings and buildings. So now I'm talking about crystal. I'm talking about diamond buildings, gold buildings. Once again, very similar to the Shambhala, the city of Shambhala. Very good example of a Galactic Society. Dome-shaped, because those are dust-free. Geometrical shaped, of course, so those are very strong and very geometrically shaped, which have important properties. Also, earthquake-proof. Storm-proof. Obviously, that's also going to be a part of the shelter team. And health team, which I've already talked about. Some of the highest forms of healing is, of course, holographic rejuvenation medbed. Of course, shelter project, I would say the deadline is still June 3rd. However, I expect the final completed project done, or that team, to have that done by July or August 3rd for shelter. For health, June 3rd, 2017. Of course, this is the job of the funding team. However, for aqueducts, $200,000 in funding raised. Of course, ultimately, it's up to the funding team. Organic Abundance, as in, it could be more, it could be less, to supply everything that you need. Organic Abundance team, $300,000. However, it could also be $150,000. That's what I want to crowdsource for both of those. Shelter could be done as something as simple as $50,000 to $500,000 for shelter, and for health team, I want $200,000 or $100,000, and that should be absolutely fine. Once again, all those are up to the funding teams for all those. Research also with the additional 4 teams, which are innovation / invention team, research, the leadership teams for moving forward at accelerated rate, always getting better and evolving, and the diplomacy teams for peace, paradise, from those with great wisdom and spiritual enlightenment. Those teams, research teams, I guess your funding team just have just have the funding on hand. 50,000, 100,000, of course, is a goal for that. Now, these teams are all need to work, continue to build, and that is just a solid foundation for one. Once again, one of the major teams to build this. This is an all involved in building a biosphere, which includes what I described earlier for the shipbuilding. But however, each team does have a shipbuilding team. Now, this is ultimately for the construction of the shipbuilding, that is, of the biosphere, which is ultimately the final design is going to be 100 miles in diameter. Now, for now, the locations shall be located in Nevada, in the vast flatlands of Nevada, the vast flatlands of New Mexico, and the vast space that is in the Sahara Desert. The construction shall also begin in the Sahara Desert of the 100 mile diameter shipbuilding. I would say that is to commence It should commence in the wintertime. So, for the sake of the environment, however, there will be structures that will be accommodating for those type of temperatures in that harsh environment. However, the construction should officially begin for the 100 mile diameter biosphere. That shall begin November 3rd, 2017. And that should be completed November 3rd, 2018. The shipbuilding for the 4 kilometer in diameter shall begin April 3rd, 2017. Should be completed by August 3rd, 2017. Of course, that is with all the advanced technology describing that I described. That will allow that process to be accelerated, as well with the teams that are working together, as well as with the help of all those research teams who are devising, of course, the best solution for that process. Most importantly, what I've already described. Of course, it's going to be hazard-free, and it's going to be accelerated because of this advanced technology involved in building it, and of course, it's going to be very efficient and very self-sufficient because of the cycle teams, because of the constant updates, and because of the holographic team and the funding team, conjoined with the all the other teams working in tandem. So now, you should have self-sufficiency for, ultimately, this is on a planet scale, a planet-wide project. This is for self-sufficiency for the entire planet. This is for self-sufficiency for an entire area. This is for self-sufficiency on a major scale. And this is so, once again, when everybody's self-sufficient, there is no need to fight for scarcity. Once again, this is a major project. And, this is, once again, the team that's going to make it happen. All right. This should be launched. The launching shall be December 3rd, 2018 of the 100-mile biosphere. However, with each team having their own biosphere, there's many 4-kilometer biosphere. The production of that should be quite accelerated, which is why it's only going to be a year to create that 100-mile biosphere. For the description of that 100-mile biosphere, which is once again a small model for the next biosphere, which we're going to build, which will be 400 miles in diameter, will contain the following things. And there is also a diagram of this. However, I shall explain the diagram over radio or over speech. And it will contain a main command control room, central command communication room, astronomy astronomy, lookout station, commander and officers' quarters, crew quarters, food central, gardens, greenhouse room, animals, room for animals, holographic central, recreation, ultimately in sports, and HoloLens or holodecks and the like. Medical observatory, flight school in a sense, educational rooms for adults. Docking, hangar bays, scout ships, city-sized ships, climate control rooms, quarters for captains, pilots, engineers, and scientists, meeting rooms and council rooms, the ambassadors, diplomats, in a sense, royalty, council officials, private quarters. There'll be family quarters, ultimately playgrounds for kids, family food courts, children's schools, family medical observatory rooms, family astronomy lookout stations, family greenhouse, garden room, family holographics, recreation sports, crystal generator, beam engineering, and holographs, which are, in a sense, 10 by 10 rooms where you can create anything that you want in those rooms. If you want to be in a garden or in a jungle or in a desert or in a underwater cavern or on a beach, for example, or anything you want to imagine, you can create that. Of course, there's 15 parks. This will be able to accommodate. Well, in this biosphere, this will be able to accommodate, and this biosphere does not necessarily have to have all the officers, but it should have quarters for those coming and going. Just to, once again, this is more about, the crew quarters, the food central gardens, the greenhouse rooms, the animals, the holographic central, medical observatory, scout crafts, city-sized ships, and family quarters, and ambassadors, of course, to help this accelerate this process of, this is the 100-mile ship, so this will have ambassadors, diplomats, royalty, and council officials, and private quarters, family quarters, food courts, playgrounds for kids and kids' schools, and medical room for family and a medical room, medical observatory. So, and of course the crystal generators, or / beam generators / engineerings. So, and of course the most advanced and of course the safest tools for those. So, that is going to be the 100-mile diameter biosphere, and then that is of course going to be. Oh, that's 2018. 2019 is 100 mile biospheres, and that's to accelerate and to create the production of the 400-mile diameter biospheres. And those biospheres will have all of the above, as well as housing stations for these 100-mile biospheres. Of course, the team, there will be, since there are 5 teams, hold on. Each team will have its own, of course, 4-kilometer. So going back to the teams. Each team will have their own 4-kilometer biosphere, right, that they created from the teams that they're, of course, described. So now we have each 100-mile biosphere. The first one will be completed, as I said, November 3rd, 2018. This, and the 100 will be completed 2020, November 3rd. November 3rd, 2020, there will be 100-mile biospheres. So 100-mile biospheres should cut down the time takes the time, resources, and effort. Well, I mean, at that time we'll have basically abundance in every sense of the word. So by 2020, with full self-sufficiency and full state abundance, full-out abundance, there will be a 400-mile diameter biosphere built every month for 12 months, starting December 3rd, 2020. Once again, now these biospheres will be of course, imagination. For example, imagination creation vessels that will basically, that's what the city-sized ships will help disseminate. These city-sized spaceships will be, in a sense, the type of outflow vessels of creativity and imagination that can stem from the absolute accelerated creation states. And for example, the ability to make Legos, now that you have, in a sense, its own self-sufficient biosphere. So these city-sized ships, so with these biospheres, these 100-mile biospheres that exist in 2020, these 100-mile biospheres that exist in 2020, each of those will be able to create Lego, in a sense, type building of any type of structure, any type of design, and any type of solution. So you can, anything, for example, that can be, for example, put together with Legos can not only be accelerated since you have self-sufficiency that exists alone in the carrier, but it can be accelerated with multiple carriers working together. Multiple biospheres working together to, in a sense, be the carrier of a new design. So, once again, self-sufficiency for creativity will be achieved at the 2021 period. Or 2021, December 3rd, 2021, there will be 12 400-mile diameter biospheres. By 2024, this will be the goal is to be a Type 2 civilization by 2024. So Type 2 civilization is the... And this is what the research team can research. Type 2 civilization has a massive energy output. So that is ultimately one of the goals. And that can easily be done by 2024. With these teams, with the accelerated process, and with this building, Type 2 civilization will be achieved 2024. There will be plenty of water, there will be plenty of food, there will be plenty of shelter. There will be plenty of space due to the biospheres, there will be plenty of innovation due to the research team, there will be plenty of health because of the holographic rejuvenation. For example, the holographic rejuvenation med beds, holographic rejuvenation centers, and holographic rejuvenation rooms, observatories, and areas. Every single team will have its own holographic rejuvenation by, that deadline will be July 3rd, 2017. Every team, so that's 5. Every team should have 3. No. I'm gonna leave that up to the research team. And I'm gonna leave that up to the teams themselves. The health team to, of course, to determine how many holographic rejuvenation beds. But to be honest, in total, since the rate of rejuvenation is so quick, once again, I would like to leave that up to the health team and the research team. I would say that, though, 3 would be a good number. 1 is just fine, because with 4 hours full limb rejuvenation, that should be fine. So that should be, of course, the deadline for that is July. And then, of course, the acceleration, because of the safety, that would be insured. Well, not insured like with insurance, but it'd just be, of course, just guaranteed in a sense, because rejuvenation is so accurate, and that solves many solutions. So, full scale rejuvenation, September 3rd, 2017. So deadlines, once again, for Aqueducts, Shelter, Organic Abundance, 3rd of June. Health, also that team, their deadline is June 3rd, 2017. Research team, of course, same deadline. They coincide together. They have their teams. So, November 3rd, 2017 would be the beginning of the project for the first 100 mile biosphere begins November 3rd and shall be completed December 3rd of 2018. And the construction of the 100 mile diameter biospheres will be completed December 2020. December 3rd, 2020. Which, of course, begins the process of the first 400 mile diameter biosphere, which shall begin, and the end of that construction shall be 2024. And Type 2 civilization shall be reached by 2024. That's the team. Alright, I'm gonna, of course, give a lot more insight, a lot more direction along the way, and then, of course, keep you up to date. And the teams, let's go. Let's do this.